in our spotlight, President Joe Biden is weighing executive action to contain the crisis at the southern border with the surge of migrants. This comes after Republicans killed a bipartisan border deal after pressure from former President Donald Trump. They also said they thought the deal didn't go far enough. Now, this new executive action would prevent people who cross illegally into the United States between the points of entry from claiming asylum. The move would suspend longtime guarantees that give anyone who steps onto U.S. soil the right to ask for safe haven. I want to bring back our panel here. John, Heidi, Mary Alice, and joining us, our ABC News contributor and SiriusXM radio host Mike Muse. So thank you all for being here with us. And Mary Alice, let's start here with you. What options does the Biden administration have? What are they considering here that they could actually deploy without congressional approval?
Yeah, Kina, that is the key question. The White House telling us they are still looking at what they can do without congressional approval, that they thought it was irresponsible to not explore all potential options now that that bipartisan deal has fallen apart, seems to have fallen apart on Capitol Hill. But look, the reality is they don't know what they might be able to move on unilaterally that might not face almost immediate lawsuits and challenges in the courts. We know one thing they're looking at is whether or not they can restrict someone's ability to apply for asylum if they cross between legal ports of entry, whether they can restrict the number of people that can claim asylum depending on a day, sort of a trigger mechanism. If more than 5,000 or 8,000 or some threshold cross, can they put new restrictions in place? But all of these ideas, like I said, will almost surely be challenged in the courts almost immediately. The White House might be okay with a fight like that right now because politically they want to look like they're doing everything they can on the border, but clearly they're still testing out these options and looking into them. Nothing a done deal yet.
Right, certainly the crisis on the border has really hurt the president in the polls. John, I want to ask you about Speaker Johnson replying to this almost right away. And he's saying, you know, essentially, again, this doesn't go far enough. And he says that the president can show he's serious by changing more than asylum policy. He suggested he should also begin by reinstituting the Remain in Mexico policy as well.
Yeah, you know, if I was Speaker Johnson, I'd take what I could get now and keep working on the rest, but he's not doing that. I think that's ridiculous. But let's not forget this. This doesn't have to be a legal thing. President Biden, on the first day he was sworn in, on January 20th, a couple of years ago, issued a series of executive orders rolling back border provisions and rolling back policies that were keeping the border secure. So as much as the Republicans own the abortion issue, the Democrats own the border issue. The moment he rolled back all those restrictions, the cartels sent out advertisements on TikTok and Facebook saying, come on over, the party's on, and it hasn't stopped. So if he's really serious, start by getting rid of those executive orders he issued on day one and issue some other ones that firm things up. He doesn't need to worry about court cases.
Right, he can move forward there. Heidi, do you think the president, though, might face opposition from members of his own party?
You know, it's hard to say. I think there certainly will be people on the far left who say asylum seekers should all be treated equally. You can't restrict. What difference does it make if you're at a point of entry or if you're crossing, you know, someplace in the middle of the desert? But I think the bottom line is this is a tricky issue for the president. But the Republicans had an opportunity to do something about it and then walked away. And that's what the public's going to remember. But I think that the president is taking the right steps, taking them in a way that he wants to be very judicious and do it right. But this, as John said, this is the burden is on the president to show that he's serious about controlling our border.
Mike, do you agree with that? Do you think that the public will look back on this and remember, oh, Republicans walked away from this deal, or are they going to remember that the crisis happened in the first place, and what did the administration actually do about it?
It depends upon if President Biden in the campaign is able to frame that narrative exactly as you stated. President Biden is in a conundrum. I think everyone wants comprehensive immigration reform, but the challenge of Congress just haven't been able to effectively do that. When President Biden was looking for immigration reform, in particular as he was looking to shore up more aid for Ukraine. The Republican Party wanted to tie any Ukrainian aid or foreign aid to the border. Once that package was done, the Republicans backtracked and said it didn't go far enough, at least from the House perspective, ignoring the bipartisan bill that the Senate did. At that point, it left President Biden no choice but to create action. I'm curious, Kana, to see what is Governor Abbott's response going to be going forward, because Governor Abbott has been very clear on political tactics and sending these migrants north, in particular to Chicago and New York, what he would call Democratic-led cities. And so as President Biden is looking to do action, what does Governor Abbott have to say about that? But also, too, what does Governor Abbott have to say about his party not being effective enough in creating any form of immigration that could answer what he's asking for?
All right, well, we will certainly watch how this plays out. Mike, John, Heidi, and Mary Alice, our thanks as always.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.